What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about financial freedom and what it means to me. What is financial freedom? How to achieve financial freedom? And by the way, this is coming from the perspective of someone who isn't quite there yet. I actually have quite the ways to go, if I'm going to be honest with you. But I want to talk about what I'm doing, what steps I'm taking to inch myself closer and closer and closer to the ultimate goal. But really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos. Subscribe to my second channel for bonus videos. Get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. T-shirts, hoodies, stickers, and coffee mugs. Try out some G Fuel Energy Formula, $5 off your first order by clicking the link in the description. Over 50 different flavors to choose from. And of course, last but certainly not least, make sure to go and get your up to 12 free fractional shares by downloading Webull and funding your account. They have a new promo going on every single month, sometimes 2 promos going on every single month, where if you refer a friend or sometimes 3 friends, they're going to give you even more free stocks, usually free Apple stock, which you can hang on to, which is what I do, or you can sell them and use the cash to get something that you actually want. Everything will be linked in the description. All right, so financial freedom. What does financial freedom mean to me? What does financial freedom look like? And what am I doing? What steps am I taking to propel myself further so that I can get closer to the ultimate goal of unlocking financial freedom, being financially free? So of course, starting with, what does it even mean to be financially free? What is financial freedom? Now, the easiest way I can describe financial freedom is, well, first and foremost, it's different for everybody because everyone has a different lifestyle, everyone has different expenses. But the easiest way I like to define financial freedom is like this: having enough passive income coming in that completely takes care of every last one of your expenses. So to paint a picture, let's just say you're paying $1,000 a month for rent and $500 a month on food and $200 a month on car insurance, another couple $100 on your phone, gas, things like that. Let's just say it all totals up to $2,500 a month that you need to spend in order to survive, to keep a roof over your head, to keep food in your fridge, and to keep trucking along. It costs you $2,500 a month. Maybe more, maybe less. If you're a minimalist like myself, or if you have, I don't know, a family of 6, and you're not paying a simple rental fee and you have a whole mortgage that you got to take care of, and maybe you have a newer car, so it's not just car insurance but it's car payments as well, whatever the case may be. This is just an example. Let's just say hypothetically it costs $2,500 a month, but you have $2,500 a month coming in passively from investments that you've made in the past and or are continuing to make in the present. Oh God, there's people over here. Hate humans. That right there, that passive income takes care of your rent. It takes care of your car insurance. It takes care of your phone bill. It takes care of whatever you need to pay for at the grocery store. That right there is financial freedom, in my opinion. What financial freedom is not, or it doesn't necessarily need to be, millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. You don't need to be a millionaire. You don't need to be a multi-millionaire. You don't need to be a billionaire. You don't even need to be rich or wealthy to unlock financial freedom. See, a lot of people, when they think of financial freedom, they're like, oh man, I'm so far away from being a millionaire. I'm so far removed from that world. I'll never reach that. How am I supposed to build up a $15 million portfolio starting today? Can't do that. First of all, you can. But second of all, that's what a lot of people think. Like, financial freedom, oh my God. You know how far away that is? It doesn't necessarily need to be as far away as you might think, because you don't need millions and millions and millions of dollars coming in. Let's just say your job right now is paying you $50,000 a year. If you're earning $50,000 a year, your annual expenses are, or at least they should be, less than $50,000 a year. So let's just call it $35,000 a year toward a roof over your head, food in the fridge, your car, your insurance, your phone, your everything. Let's just say it all totals up to being $35,000 a year. All you need is $35,000 coming in passively. That's not millions and millions of dollars coming in. You're not earning millions of dollars. You're not even earning hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're not even earning half of $100,000. $35,000. That is not ultra wealthy person income. But it takes care of every last one of your expenses. You are living your life funded by money coming out of profit, not money coming out of pocket. That right there, in my opinion, is financial freedom. Now, like I said before, like I said in the intro, this is not coming from the perspective of somebody that's currently financially free. I've never been financially free. I am not presently financially free. I am not a millionaire. I am not rich. I am not wealthy, but I'm on my way. That's how I like to look at it. So financial freedom, it doesn't need to be millions and millions of dollars of earned income. It doesn't need to be hundreds of thousands of dollars even of earned income. The example that I just gave, it could be less than half of $100,000. $50,000, $40,000, $35,000 coming in passively, as long as it takes care of your all of your expenses. That's what I consider to be financial freedom. Another example of what financial freedom is not is driving a Lamborghini. Oh man, I'm not financially free until I'm, whipping around town in a Ferrari or something like that. No. You can be financially free driving a 15-year-old Toyota. You can be financially free driving a 7-year-old Ford. You can be financially free riding a bicycle. You could be financially free and not even own a car. You could skateboard to and from wherever you need to go. You can rollerblade there. Or you could walk. You don't have to be ridiculous. You can walk. You can ride a bike. You can drive a used car. A car that you've had for the last 5, 10, 15 years. It doesn't matter. Financial freedom has nothing to do with what you're driving. Unless, of course, the money that you're earning passively is enough to cover all of your Lamborghini expenses, then sure. It's just going to take you a lot longer to get there. It's easier to achieve financial freedom driving an older paid-off car than it is if you have a brand new luxury car or an exotic car, supercar. Another example of what financial freedom is not: living in a mansion. You don't need to live in a mansion. You can if you want to. And if your passive income takes care of the money that you're paying toward, paying off the mansion or paying rent at the mansion that you're essentially borrowing, then sure, yeah, that's financial freedom, but it's going to take you a lot longer to get there. And it's going to take away from, there's an opportunity cost that comes along with that. Let's just say, renting a mansion costs, I don't know, I don't even know what a mansion would cost to rent. $4,000, let's just say, hypothetically. Could be totally off. I have no idea. Never looked into it because couldn't give a crap less about that. Let's just say it's $4,000 a month, as opposed to $1,000 or $1,500 a month toward rent at a one-bedroom apartment, or maybe $2,000 or $2,500 a month toward your mortgage, compared to $4,000 to rent at a mansion. That's an easy $1,500 or $2,000 or $2,500 every single month. That's an opportunity cost. What else could you do with those couple $1,000s? You could reinvest it right back in and earn even more this time next year. So, moral of the story is, when it comes to financial freedom, there doesn't have to be anything materialistic about it. Now, we all have our preferences. I'm not here to dog on the people that have expensive taste. I tend to have expensive taste too. Apple stock is not cheap. Neither are gold coins. But if that's what you prefer, if you're a car guy, you like cars, maybe you're happy having 3 vehicles just because you enjoy working on cars, or you just admire them so much. It's just what you're into for whatever reason. If that's your thing, that's your thing. It is what it is. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with spending money or potentially wasting money on something, or I shouldn't say it like that. There's nothing wrong with spending money on something that other people would consider to be a waste of money. If that's what you're into, if that's what makes you happy, hey, it is what it is. But financial freedom has nothing to do with what you drive or where you sleep at night. Because guess what? A car, whether it be a 2015 Nissan or a 2023 Lamborghini, whichever way you go, its intended purpose is to get you from point A to point B. Of course, one will get you there a little bit faster. That's one way you could look at it. Hey, time is money. I had to spend the money on a really expensive supercar. How else am I going to get to work in 5 minutes when I'm 45 miles away? But yeah, moral of the story is, there's nothing materialistic directly attached to financial freedom. There can be, it doesn't need to be. You could be living a very modest life, or your goal is to live a very modest life. Maybe you want to get, a small to a medium-sized house. Or maybe you want to stick to living in a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment. Maybe you want to continue driving the car that you're already driving. Maybe it's almost paid off, or it's already paid off. Or maybe you just got it. You have a couple years to go before it's paid off, but it's still not a crazy expensive car. It'll be paid off eventually. And when it is, then, your plan is to keep on driving it for another, who knows, 5 years after it's paid off, whatever. Maybe you want to live a modest life. Maybe you are a minimalist, quite like myself. Maybe you don't really necessarily have expensive taste or enjoy spending money recklessly or going and buying a bunch of stuff. Maybe your idea of financial freedom is similar to mine. So here's what financial freedom means to me. I already defined my own personal definition of financial freedom earlier in the video, which is having enough passive income coming in to cover all of your necessary living expenses. That's what financial freedom is defined as, at least in my opinion. But what does it look like to me? What does financial freedom feel like? What does life look like? What is life when you reach financial freedom? As far as I'm concerned, it kind of looks like what you're looking at on screen right here, except there's a twist. See how I'm casually going for a walk on this hiking trail in the woods? I get to come out here, get some fresh air, sunlight, and exercise simultaneously. I get to kind of escape from the world. I get to escape from all the noise out there in reality, all the chaos, all the people, arguing on Facebook about which idiot that they prefer in the White House. Like, I don't want to be near that. That's not what I want to associate with. That's not where I want my energy to be directed towards. Maybe it looks like this. Maybe go for a walk on a hiking trail. Or you could do what I did just last night. I went camping. Now, as soon as I get past these people, I'll be able to talk a little louder. Don't want to interrupt anybody's day by talking about financial freedom. Who wants to hear about that? Unless, of course, you click on a video that's titled Financial Freedom. It's a different story. That's my choice. All right, so anyway, where was I? Financial freedom, doing what I'm doing right now. But like I said before, I have not unlocked financial freedom just yet. I didn't just wake up today and decide, oh, you know what? I feel like doing this today. I feel like going on a hike. I feel like going camping. Oh, that's where I left off. Camping. Went car camping for the first time well, not the first time, but the first time with my new car. Just last night. I woke up today and I knew that I want to film a full-length video. I knew I had an idea of what I want to talk about, financial freedom, what it looks like, and what it means to me and how I plan on getting there. And I wanted to film this video by walking on the hiking trail in the woods. But you want to know how I was able to go car camping last night and how I'm able to spend the day out here on this hiking trail? It's because yesterday was my last day of work for the week and today's my day off. That's the only reason I'm able to do this. But if I were to achieve financial freedom, I could wake up on a Wednesday afternoon and say to myself, hey, you know what? I feel like doing this today. I could wake up when I'm done sleeping. I don't have to be forcefully woken up by an alarm clock. And then I can ease my way into the day. Rather than my alarm clock waking me up at 4 a.m. every single day, maybe I'll wake up at 7 a.m. on my own, and I don't have to jump straight out of bed and get myself ready so that I can leave my house at 5 so I can get to work at 6. Maybe I don't have to do that. Maybe instead of waking up at 4 to leave at 5 to get to work at 6 and work the entire day away, instead, maybe, just maybe, I could wake up when my body's done sleeping, 6, 7 a.m. as opposed to 4. Instead of immediately jumping up and, time to go. Maybe I can ease my way into the day. Maybe I don't have to rush through breakfast like I do 6 days a week. Maybe I can ease my way into the day and decide for myself when I feel like leaving the house that day. And do what I want to do with the next 16 hours. Do I want to go to the beach? Do I want to go for a hike? Do I want to round up a group of people that I like spending time with and watch a movie? Or go here, go there, do something, hang out? Do I want to go to work? See, that's another thing about financial freedom. A lot of people think financial freedom means you quit your job and all your passive income takes care of your expenses, which, that is what I defined it as before, but I didn't say anything about your employment status. Your passive income could completely take care of your living expenses, but you still work your job. But it's by choice, because you have enough passive income coming in to survive and or live very, very comfortably. But what if, I'm just trying to paint a picture for everybody here. What if you had enough passive income coming in every single month and growing on a yearly basis, by the way? What if you had enough passive income coming in every single month that allowed you to step down from your full-time job and do the same thing but part-time instead? Part-time instead. Instead of being there 5-6 days a week, instead of working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, imagine only going to work 3 days a week. Imagine only working 25 hours a week. Without financially suffering as a result. Just imagine. I'm not telling you that this is what you have to do. Just picture being in that position. Or picture, being in that position and say to yourself, yeah, you know what? I'm going to stick to working full time. Just because I like it, just because I want to. And it's your decision. But you have the option to do so. You continue working your full-time job by choice. Not because if you step down or quit, your entire life falls apart. Now all of a sudden you can't pay any bills. Imagine working your full-time job by choice because you want to be there. Or maybe you find a sense of purpose in your job. That's how it is for me. Now don't get me wrong. If I quit my job altogether, my world would fall apart. I wouldn't be able to pay the bills. Like I said, I'm not financially free. I'm not there by choice. I do like the job. Actually, to be honest with you, I love the job. And I'd rather be there than not be there. But I don't have the option to quit just yet. Got a bit of a ways to go. But that's what financial freedom looks like to me. Being able to make the decision whether or not you want to work full-time moving forward, or if you want to step down to part-time, or if you want to quit altogether. Having the choice to do those things. Now, if and when I ever reach financial freedom, I'm talking complete and total financial freedom, where I could quit my job altogether and be perfectly fine. If and when I ever get to that point, I would not quit my job. I like my job too much. I like working in general too much. I've been referred to as a workaholic by dang near everyone I've ever met. And I don't really see a problem with that at all. But I like working. I like feeling productive. Like I explained before, a sense of purpose by being there. See, as a guy, I would assume most men would understand. That's the masculine purpose. Your work, whatever your work may be. I don't care if you're a high-level executive. I don't care if you sweep the floor of the high-level executive's office. There's honor in all jobs, there's honor in all work, and there's a sense of purpose in every job. And that's where we get our sense of purpose. Now, we also get purpose from other sources as well. Family, for example. But our primary masculine purpose comes from our work. And I couldn't agree more with that. That's where I get my primary source of purpose from. Working. Get a sense of fulfillment from it. So I personally would not quit my job. And I'd be very surprised. If things are going the way that they're going for me at work right now, I'd be very, very, very surprised if I went down to part-time. I really like what I'm doing. But either way, that's what financial freedom looks like to me. The choice, whether or not you want to continue working full-time or step down to part-time or quit your job altogether and be just fine. You would not take a painful financial hit because of it. And on top of that, you get to choose what you do with your time. Instead of saying, all right, I gotta head out, I got work in the morning, and now all of a sudden you're jeopardizing, time with your family or whoever. I gotta head out, got work in the morning, another day. You get to choose what you do with that time instead. If you decide for yourself, if it's the middle of the day, kind of like it is right now. yourself. I'm talking about you directly right now. As you're sitting there or standing there or doing whatever you're doing, as you're watching my video or listening to my video, imagine the idea just popped into your head. Hey, you know what? I feel like going camping tonight. So that's what I'm going to do. And imagine being able to do that. See, most people can't do that. I can't do that. I can do it maybe one night a week if I really wanted to. Like I said, last night was the first time I've car camped in years. And it was the first time car camping with my new car, which is 14% of the reason why I got the car, to be honest with you. Close to 14% at least. But anyway, being able to come up with these spontaneous ideas. Hey, you know what? I feel like going hiking right now. Hey, you know what? I feel like going camping tonight. Hey, you know what? Maybe you could say to your girlfriend, your wife, or a friend, or just do it on your own. Hey, you know what we should do? We should go out this week and find a cheap cargo van and turn it into a camper van so we can use it as a weekend camper, or a Tuesday night camper, or a Thursday night camper. Whatever day of the week we feel like going camping. Imagine going spending, you know, a couple $1,000s on a used older cargo van, not to go across the country with. Just imagine getting like an E150, setting up some cots in the back, or throwing a whole mattress in there, packing a cooler, stuff it full of food. Oh God, more people. This one with a dog. They bite me, I'm on camera.
Play dog, dude.
How you guys doing?
Good.
It's a nice dog.
Play dog. He ain't gonna do it. I know you said stop that shit.
Man, that was a good looking dog. But yeah, imagine being able to do that. Hey, you know what? Let's go get a camper van this weekend, or within the next week or so, and we'll turn it into a or get a cargo van, turn it into a camper van, and from time to time we'll just go camping with it, or we'll just spend the whole day in it. Maybe we'll drive to a town that we've never been to before. Set up a small those little those card tables you can get. Imagine we'll toss one of those in there. Get some pizza. Set up the tablet with your movie, your Netflix or Hulu account or whatever, and watch a movie in a cargo van, just because you feel like it. In a town you've never been to before. Getting pizza from a pizzeria that you've never tried before. These are just examples of what financial freedom looked like to me. Just being able to simply choose what you want to do with your time. Without having to worry about your finances. And you can do all of that without making millions and millions and millions of dollars. So now that we got all of that out of the way, how I define financial freedom, which just to reiterate, also, while I'm over here, let me take a quick G Fuel break so I don't lose my voice over here. Remember, if you click the link in the description, you get $5 off your first purchase, over 50 different flavors to choose from. This flavor right here of G Fuel is Sonic Peach Rings. If you've ever had the candy before, Peach Rings candy, you can get it at probably any grocery store in the world. Peach Rings candy, it tastes just like it. Absolutely delicious. And this right here is what I'm declaring G Fuel flavor of the month. Sonic Peach Rings. $5 off your first order of any flavor by clicking the link in the description. And while we're at it, before we move on, since we talked about how I define financial freedom, since we talked about what financial freedom is not, and since we talked about Got people coming up behind me. Man, I can't win. And since we talked about what financial freedom is not and what it means to me, what it could potentially look like to me, before we get to that point, how you guys doing?
Good.
Before we get there, just issue a quick little friendly reminder to subscribe to the channel for a bunch of new videos. Subscribe to the second channel, which is Mykie DYDSS 2. Yeah, I know the glare is not really helping me out all that much. Subscribe to the second channel for bonus videos. Get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. T-shirts, hoodies, stickers, and coffee mugs. And of course, make sure to download Webull and fund your account. They're going to give you up to 12 free fractional shares just for doing so. And every month they have a new promo, sometimes 2 new promos going on, where they say if you refer a friend or sometimes 3 friends, they're going to give you even more free stocks, usually Apple stock, which you can keep and hold on to, which is what I do, or you can sell and use the cash to buy something you'd rather have instead. It doesn't have to be stocks. You can cash it out, send it to your checking account, withdraw it as physical cash, and take it to the coin shop for all anybody cares. Webull link in the description. Everything is linked in the description. All right, so moving on. We defined financial freedom. We talked about what financial freedom is not, and we talked about what financial freedom could potentially look like and what it would, I would imagine, what it would look like for me. Let's talk about how to get there. Let's talk about how to build yourself up a portfolio and begin generating passive income. Money that's working for you, your own money that's working for you, while you're working for even more money at work. Money that's being made whether you're working or not. Maybe you had the day off today. Guess what? Money was still being made. This time passively. A little bit of passive income on top of your active income, the money that you make via paycheck or direct deposit, by breaking your back every day, by working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, by working 5, 6, maybe even 7 days a week. That's active income. Money that stops coming in if you stop working. That's active income. You have to be active. Passive income is being made whether you're working or not. Now, you can really compound the growth of your passive income by continuing to work, by continuing to, do whatever it is that you do for a living. You can really compound it and speed up the process of that snowball effect. But the passive income comes in whether you're working or not. Now, there are a couple of different ways you can go about building a passive income portfolio, which we'll get into. But first, I think it's important to talk about the importance of saving money first, because I always like to say, I always encourage people to strive for more. If you're not working hard, start working hard. If you're already working hard, work harder. Inquire about a pay raise. Look around for a higher paying job. Go for that promotion. Take on a second job if you have the ability to do so. All so that you can make more money. Because the more money that you are making, the more money you can be saving. And the more money that you're saving means the more money you have to invest. Now, when I say saving money, I don't necessarily mean taking a chunk from your paycheck and stashing it away. That is what I mean, but it goes beyond that. I'm not talking about your savings account. I'm not talking about taking the cash and hiding it under the bed or locking it up in a safe, whichever way you'd prefer to hold on to cash. Yes, that is what I'm talking about, but it goes beyond that as well. I'm also talking about saving money on things that you already need to pay for, even if it just results in a small discount. My favorite way of saving money is by not paying 100%, but rather maybe only 97% or 95%, or in certain situations, only 90%. And I'm not going to use this section of the video to talk too much about credit cards, but my way of doing this is by utilizing cashback credit cards. Now, here in my pocket, I brought home my credit cards. I'm not going to run through them. I just wanted to show the stack of credit cards that I have. I have more than the average American. I wouldn't recommend going out and getting 7 credit cards. You can if you want to. If they don't have an annual fee, none of mine do. So they cost me a grand total of $0 to have open. And a lot of people say, oh yeah, but the interest rates, you're paying interest. No, I've never paid a penny in interest because I pay everything off in full on time before the due date. So I've never carried a balance on any of those 7 cards, not one time. Pay everything off in full on time before the due date. And the reason I have 7 cards is because I have different credit cards for different reasons. My oldest 2 or 3 were mainly credit building cards, and the more recent ones are cashback credit cards, which I have different cashback credit cards for different reasons. I have one to give me 3% back on groceries year round. I have one that gives me 5% back on rotating quarterly categories. I have another one that gives me 2% back on absolutely everything. So if I don't have a card to get maximum cash back, I'll use that miscellaneous 2% back on everything card. And then I have a new card which gives me 5% back on the category that I do the most spending in. And I got it specifically to get 5% back at gas stations year round. So again, I'm not here to push credit cards. I'm not here to, talk about credit cards or anything like that. But that's my favorite way of saving money. See, if I get 5% back at the gas station, then technically I'm only paying for 95% of what I would ordinarily be paying. Pay 100%, but then they give me 5% right back. Which doesn't sound like very much. Like, oh, okay, yeah, well, what's 5%? All right, well, yeah, do the math. I haven't done the math. I don't know the math off the top. I actually have done the math. I don't remember off the top of my head. But let's just say you're spending $100 or $200 if you have more than one people, in the house, or more than one car. Multi-car family, I should say. It's probably a better way of wording it. Imagine getting 5% back on the $200 that you spend every single month, year round. Do the math. That's $10. If you're spending $200 a month, 5% of that, $10. Not very impressive, but the way I see it, why not milk it? Milk it for everything that it's worth. Don't leave money on the table. If you have the opportunity to get $10 back when you're already spending $200, you're walking away only paying $190 out of pocket. $10 a month every month, $120 a year. What could you do with that $120 a year? You could invest it. You could spend it on something else. You could save it. I know it might sound kind of insignificant, like, all right, it's a lot of work for $120 a year. Not really. I set up automatic payments so the card pays itself off. I keep track of all my expenses. That's just a personal thing that I like to do. And I spend on only what I need to spend on. And then I walk away getting 3% back on certain things, 5% back on other things, 2% back on other things. In rare circumstances, 10% back on certain things. It's a decent amount of money being saved, especially when you're paying rent that way, especially when you're gassing up the car that way, especially when you're buying all the food that you need to buy at the grocery store by doing it that way. I should have used groceries as an example because that costs a little bit more than what the gas station is charging, especially if you have a family of 3, 4, 5. So anyway, I'll close off this section of what I'm talking about here. Moral of the story is I use cashback credit cards to save a lot of money. And I've been doing this for a couple years now. But it goes beyond that as well. Making food at home as opposed to, buying lunch every morning or buying breakfast every morning, you save a lot of money. And it's also healthier. So if you think about it, you're saving a lot of money on health issues that will come about a couple decades in the future potentially. Or at least you're lowering the risks of running into certain health-related problems. But yeah, making food at home as one example, using cashback credit cards, saving money in those ways, and taking a portion of your paycheck and setting it aside, and whatever your method of saving is, whether it be, some people use precious metals, some people use a savings account, some people take the cash and stick it under the bed, whatever it is. But again, it all starts from making more money, because the more money you're making, the more money you're saving. And that's what we're talking about right now, saving money. There's a variety of different ways of saving money, and that's one of them. So coming around full circle, strive for more. Get a second job if you're able to do so. Look for a pay raise, look for a promotion, look for a better paying job. The more money you're making, the more money you're saving, which leads us to the next part. The more money you're saving, the more money you have to invest. Now is where we can talk about building up passive income. One way of going about building passive income, there's a couple of different ways you can go about doing this. You could be running a business from your phone. It's not as passive as many people like to claim that it is, because you do have to do all the day-to-day work. You do have to monitor everything. You do have to manage everything. It's not really passive income. Real estate's another good example of quote-unquote passive income. It's money being generated passively, yeah, but real estate can also be very, very, very hands-on. In my opinion, I think the only true form, or at least the truest form, of real passive income, 100% hands-off passive income, would be becoming a dividend growth investor. This is what I've been doing for a couple of years now. I started to dabble in the stock market in 2019, and a couple months had gone by, a little bit of trial and error, testing out the waters and beginning to learn the basics of when it comes to fundamental analysis and technical analysis and interpreting earnings reports. Like, what in the world does that mean? This is like a foreign language to me. How do I understand it? Like, going through that whole process, on day one, you're not going to understand anything. It's like trying to learn Chinese on day one. It's just not going to work. Couple months of learning, studying, getting more and more confident. Then March of 2020 happened and everything completely fell apart, which is just when I reached the point where I was confident enough to really fully dive in, and just, all the stars aligned and I was able to, dive in head first, and everything was 20, 30, 40, 50, 60% off. So timing is everything. Luck has nothing to do with it, but timing has a lot to do with it. But anyway, once you find a particular company, which at this point I don't even recommend. I recommend index funds, because it's a whole basket of everything. Now, you can find higher dividend yield index funds or exchange traded funds, ETFs, that take some of the highest dividend payers that are also simultaneously the least volatile of the biggest, baddest index fund out there, the S&P 500. It can look at all 500 holdings and say, okay, which ones pay the most and are also the least volatile? and then maybe it'll take 50 of those or 100 of those or 200 of those and pack them into a separate index. Or you can pick and choose when it comes to individual stocks, which I have far more invested in individual stocks than I do index funds. But that's because I've spent the first couple of years investing pretty much exclusively into individual stocks. I had something that I call, and if you are a VIP club member, link in the description if you'd like to become a VIP club member. I post every single one of my videos early, and there are no YouTube ads or anything like that, and you can watch them all 4 in the morning Eastern Standard Time every single day. Everybody else has to wait till 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day. But if you want to watch them that early in the morning or at any point during the day before the market even opens or before the market closes, obviously, they're in the VIP club, link in the description. But in the VIP club a couple years ago, I had something that I came up with. I called it the 3-pillar rule, which after doing extensive research on a short list or a decent sized list of stocks that I wanted to evaluate and really crunch the numbers, I would pick the 3 best in my opinion at least, after crunching the numbers and figuring out what are the 3 smartest moves. I would take those 3 and I would build up a position with those 3 individual stocks. And I would do so until those 3 were paying me roughly the same amount per quarter, and to a point where I felt as though, okay, now it's time to move on to the next 3. Now it's time to create another list. Now it's time to crunch some more numbers. Now it's time to go through another group of individual stocks and pick another 3. And then it was rinse and repeat at that point. Then it was taking those new 3 and doing the same thing that I did last time, which was build up a position with those 3. That's what I called the 3-pillar rule. And it's a little bit more specific than that, because the 3 that I would end up picking, I would make sure that they were 3 from different sectors as well. That way you're not too heavily lenient on, the oil and gas world or the consumer discretionaries or pharmaceutical or tech or whatever. And little by little, you build up these 3 from 3 different sectors. Then you move on to another 3 from 3 different sectors. Then you move on to another 3 from 3 different sectors, and you just keep on going. And the passive income that the 3 you're building up pay you every quarter, reinvest it right back in. Let's just say you build up a position with dividend growth stocks A, B, and C. Well, 3 months later, when A, B, and C pay you, maybe they pay you, I don't know, $50 each. That's $150 that were just generated passively. So you put $50 into each of those 3, right back in. 3 months later, you do the same thing. But because you reinvested those dividends or those distributions, you reinvested that passive income into what just paid you, next payday should, in theory, be more than the previous payday. Because the more you have invested, the more they're going to be paying out, so long as they continue to pay their dividend. And if you're picking healthy companies that are profitable, that are, continuing to grow and innovate and do what they're supposed to be doing, that shouldn't be a problem. And God forbid one of those end up running into a problem, well, that's why you built 3 at a time, and then you moved on and built another 3, and then you built another 3. Okay, now you're up to, now you're up to, I don't know, 23, 24, 25, 26 holdings. One runs into a problem, all right, maybe you're, slightly down a little bit on one, but you have all the other positions that you built up alongside it. Multiple legs, like a friggin' spider. You knock a leg off of a spider, it's got 7 more. But I came to the conclusion maybe about 2 years ago that rather than doing all of that, rather than analyzing 3 at a time or an entire list and picking the best 3 on the list, building up a position with those 3 and then rinse and repeat a couple months later and, work on, the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th, and then the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th, and just keep on going. Rather than doing all that, why don't I just pick an index fund? Rather than going through an entire list and doing all the work, why don't I just pick an index fund that does the work for me? Why don't I just do that? Kind of makes sense. I'm like, why do I need to do why do I have to do the analysis? Why do I have to do the picking? Why do I have to worry about how much is being allocated towards this versus that? Why don't I just, have that all done automatically for me by default by just picking an index fund that has everything in one? The S&P 500 is probably the best example because it has 500 holdings all in one basket for you. The 500 biggest, baddest publicly traded U.S. stocks. And guess what happens if one on the list ends up not performing so well? Like I said before, if you have your own, like if you created your own, doing it your own way, and you work your way up to, let's just say, 12 holdings, and one ends up not doing very well, okay, well, you still have 11 out of 12 still doing what you want to do. But instead of that, how about instead of being down one, you pick an index fund, and if one ends up not doing very well, by default, they'll swap it out with something different. If something falls out of the S&P 500, it means because something took its place. It's all done automatically. And it doesn't have to be the S&P 500. That's just what people typically refer to when they say the market. Oh, I beat the market, or I underperformed the market. They're usually referring to the S&P 500, which you can pretty much expect an average rate of return of about 9%, closer to 7% adjusted for inflation. Now, like I said, on average, last year we did not return 9%. Last year we returned, I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was like negative 16% or something like that. But the year before that, we returned, I believe it was 23 or 24% in a year. That's not normal. Neither is negative 16%. Neither is 4% or 17% or negative 5%. There's no such thing as normal, but it all averages out to around 9-10%, 7 to 8% adjusted for inflation. That's how you have to look at it. You're going to have some good years, you're going to have some bad years, you're going to have some boring years, you're going to have some crazy years, and you're going to have some horrible years. But it all averages out to 7, maybe 8% adjusted for inflation. That's what people are referring to when they say the market. You hear this all the time. Oh, the market, the market, the market, the market. Well, what is the market? It's the S&P 500. That's what they're usually talking about. But you don't have to go with the S&P 500 because there are pros and cons. Far more pros than cons. The only con I can think of is the fact that it's exclusively the 500 biggest, baddest U.S. companies, publicly traded companies. Well, what about the international market? It's not included. You can go for a total world index, which obviously has the S&P 500 included, but it's not just the 500 biggest, baddest U.S. publicly traded stocks. It's all U.S. stocks, thousands, not just the top 500, thousands of them, along with every single publicly traded international company, all in one, a total world index it's called. Or you can go for an index fund that is specifically dedicated to a specific sector. Tech, for example. Or energy. Or really anything. there's an index for whatever you're looking for. I've just personally found that broad market index funds that incorporate absolutely everything you could be possibly looking for, probably the best way to go. So if it's growing on average 7-8% adjusted for inflation every single year, with dividends reinvested, the passive income that it's generating and paying you on a quarterly basis, with those reinvested back in, compounded with regular contributions, whether it be monthly, a lot of people like to make monthly contributions. In my regular income investing portfolio, I make daily contributions. Might seem a little bit ridiculous, but it's a hobby of mine. I enjoy it. I like manually investing. I don't really like to set up the automatic investments because I like the process of investing. So I do it manually, I do it on my own, and I do it every day, as long as the market's open. All of that compounded, the market growing on average of 7 to 8% adjusted for inflation every single year with dividends reinvested, with yearly, monthly, weekly, or daily contributions, blend all of that together, and you fast forward 20 years, you have any idea where you're going to be? There has not been a single case in stock market history since the creation of the stock market or the creation of index funds where 20 years have gone by and index fund investors ended up with a loss over 20 years. Has not happened. Hasn't happened one time. No one has lost money by investing in the market over a 20-year period, ever. Hasn't happened. Now, if they picked individuals and the individual stocks that they picked ended up going down, then yeah, they lost money. But I'm talking about the people that invest in the market, the S&P 500 or broad market index funds in general. It hasn't happened. Not one human being, not one investor has lost money over a 20-year period by investing in broad market index funds consistently with dividends reinvested. So I'm thinking to myself, hey, you know what? I'm not the smartest guy in the world. But if I hop on board with something that no one in history has failed at, it's probably a pretty safe bet. So that's right now my primary way of investing, index funds. Now, like I said, there are 2 index funds that I invest in on a daily basis in my regular income investing account, but I also have another account. And this is an account that I opened up on Webull, which is the stock trading platform that I mentioned, I think, twice in this video so far. Webull is what I use for my Roth IRA. And I opened up this Roth IRA in 2021. Here we are in 2023. I'm making weekly contributions, and my goal is to max it out for the year. Now, right now, they just raised it up a little bit from the maximum contribution limit from last year. This year, in 2023, maximum contribution is $6,500, which, if you break that down, it's about $125 every single week. So I make weekly contributions into my Roth IRA, and my Roth IRA is set up with a 40-40-10-10 split. Now, again, if you are in the VIP club, link in the description, if you would like to join, you know what I'm talking about because I've broken it down. And let me take another G Fuel break. Getting thirsty out here. One of the warmest days of the year so far. And it's also the first day off I've had in a couple of weeks where my day off wasn't pouring rain. So, trying to make the most of this. Once again, friendly reminder, $5 off your first order of G Fuel, over 50 different flavors to choose from. Link in the description. Subscribe to the channel. If you aren't already subscribed, I post new videos constantly. Subscribe to my second channel for bonus videos. Get some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel. T-shirts, hoodies, stickers, coffee mugs. many of which are raising funds and awareness for different charity organizations. And of course, make sure to go and get your up to 12 free fractional shares by downloading Webull and funding your account. That's all you have to do. Even if you deposit as little as 1 penny, you still get your up to 12 free fractional shares. And they have a new monthly promo, sometimes 2 monthly promos every single month, which lets you get even more free stocks by referring a friend or 2, sometimes 3. They'll give you more free stocks, usually Apple stock, which you can keep and hold on to, which is what I do, or you can sell them and use the cash to get something that you'd prefer to have instead. Different stock, or something that isn't even stock market related. You can cash it out and take the physical cash and go get some pizza if that's what you want. You can do whatever you want. Everything will be linked in the description. All right, so, and you can also set up your Roth IRA on Webull as well. That's why I brought that up. Okay, so, my Roth IRA. For those of you who do not know, a Roth IRA is an individual retirement account. That's what IRA stands for. And a Roth IRA, very similar to a 401k in terms of it being designed for your retirement. 401k, typically through a job. You can have your own solo 401k if that's what you'd prefer. And a 401k, whichever type of 401k you go with, is a way of investing dollars that have not yet been taxed. That way more goes in up front so that, you know, the snowball builds a little bit faster. And then you pay taxes on the gains later on down the road. When you're 59 and a half, you can cash out entirely or you can cash out partially, and you have to pay taxes on the gains. Which, yeah, no one likes taxes, but all right, yeah, that's fair. If you let me invest dollars that haven't been taxed yet, that way I have more money being invested in than I would otherwise have. The snowball gets built faster, I see more gains, I see more growth, it all compounds quicker, and just bing, bang, boom. That's what a 401k is, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a Roth IRA, which is something very similar, but also very different. Instead of investing dollars that haven't been taxed yet, a Roth IRA, you're investing post-tax dollars, dollars that have already been taxed. Dollars that were tossed into your checking account from your job, you know, transferring you over, you know, that direct deposit paycheck. Uncle Sam already stepped in. He said, hey, let me take my cut. All right, see you next week. He already did that. So the paycheck has already been taxed. Those dollars have already been taxed. Now you can invest those as you please, up to $6,500 a year, according to the rules this year. Hopefully next year it's a little bit higher, but either way, right now, $6,500. Dollars that were already taxed. You let that compound over time. You continue making your contributions, whether you want to throw $6,500 in at the beginning of every year, or just once a year, or you want to make monthly contributions or weekly contributions, whatever it is that you want to do. Dividends reinvested. Fast forward to when you want to cash out entirely or cash out partially. All those gains, all those dividends and the passive income that were within this account, tax-free. You don't owe a penny because the dollars that you invested were already taxed before they were invested in the first place. That's the difference between a 401k and a Roth IRA. A 401k, you also may or may not get a company match, maybe, 3, 4, 5%, whatever, which is great, free money. If they say, hey, we'll match up to 4%, you invest 4% of your check and they invest, a 4% to match it, it's 100% rate of return. That's fantastic. It's free money right there, which is fantastic. Incredible. Roth IRA, you don't have that option, and you're also capped at currently $6,500 a year. And the way my Roth IRA is set up, like I said before, kind of a VIP club exclusive. I plan on keeping it that way in terms of the specific details, but the easiest way I can tease it is by saying my Roth IRA is made up of 4 different index funds. And I came up with this idea on my own. Nobody said, hey, you should do it this way, or you should, map it out like this, or here's a blueprint. I came up with this structure 100% on my own before even opening up the account. And it's made up of 4 different index funds, a 40-40-10-10 split. 40% of the contributions every single week go to this index fund, 40% go to that index fund, 10% go to this, and 10% go to that. I do this every single week now. I used to do it every single month. I decided I want to do it every single week. Because, like I said before, I enjoy doing it. It's fun for me, for whatever reason. So this is my tax-advantaged retirement account alongside my regular income investing account. Now, the Roth IRA, I personally believe, is going to be like the cherry on top, because when I'm 59 and a half, I got a couple decades to go before I get there. You know how much time I have? I talk to people about this, and they're like, oh, that's so far away. You really want to worry about that? And I'm like, yeah, I want to worry about that. Are you freaking kidding me? Look how much time I have to build something up for myself. I might be able to cash out, maybe $1 million, maybe less, maybe more. Either way, tax-free. 0 taxes. I owe Uncle Sam a grand total of 0% because he already took his cut from my weekly paycheck as I was building it up. He took what he wanted before the money was invested. Now he doesn't get any. How foolish of him. Now, if I had to choose between a Roth IRA, which is completely on your own, and a 401k, which is typically through a job, I would pick the Roth IRA. I like the idea of both, but I have more flexibility and more control over the Roth IRA. It's 100% on my own, and like I said, it's a 40-40-10-10 split. If I've decided one day I want to restructure it, instead of going 40-40-10-10, maybe I want to go 10-10-40-40, or maybe I want to go, I don't know, 70-10-10-10 or whatever. I can restructure it however I want and customize it my way. Now, I don't have anything against a 401k. I do not currently have one, but toward the end of the summer, I will be hitting my 1-year mark at the company that I work for, and the way things are set up there, you have to work for the company for a year before you can start contributing to a 401k, and that's what I plan on doing. So I'll not only have my regular income investing account, dividend growth income investing account, not only will I have my Roth IRA, which I make weekly contributions to, but I'll also have my 401k through my job, which I'll also be making weekly contributions to. I won't be making those contributions manually. It'll be taken out of my paycheck before it's given to me. It'll be taken out of my paycheck before it's even given to Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam's the one who gives it to me. How crazy is that? You go to work, you break your back all friggin' week, and before you get handed your paycheck gets handed to Uncle Sam, and he gives you, what's left over after he takes, what he feels like taking. How crazy is that? Wish it was the other way around. Oh, wait. It can be. All right, so anyway, these are a lot of the steps that I'm taking. I think these are all the steps that I'm taking to propel myself forward and work my way up to financial freedom. Every single day, I make a contribution into 2 index funds in my regular income investing account. It's not tax advantage, it's just my regular stock portfolio. 2 index funds. If I see an opportunity to buy in at a discounted price of an individual stock that I already hold, yes, I'll buy in. Every 3 months when those dividends come through, I will reinvest those dividends back into whatever just paid me to keep the snowball rolling, to keep that building up, to keep that growing, to keep that momentum. And like I said before, the reason I reinvest dividends is so that every 3 months I make more than I made 3 months ago, even if it's just by a little bit. And oftentimes I'll invest a little bit more than just what that dividend is. I won't just reinvest dividends. I'll reinvest the dividends plus a little bit more every 3 months to almost every single stock that I hold that pays a dividend. There are a few that I don't want to reinvest back into, but for the most part, daily contributions into 2 different index funds, reinvest dividends plus a little bit more every 3 months when that dividend comes through. And if I see an opportunity to buy the dip, I will absolutely do so. That's my regular account. My Roth IRA, I make a weekly contribution into 4 different index funds. This is something that I will not reap the benefits of until I'm at least 59.5. And when you hit 59.5, you don't have to withdraw. You don't have to cash out. You can keep it going if you choose to, or you can begin cashing out a little tiny bit at a time. And in a couple months, I will be opening up my 401k through my job. And not only that, not only is that how I go about investing to generate passive income so that I can see passive income, but like how I started the video, I'm working my face off every single day. I work 6 days a week. I work every single Sunday because I want that Sunday pay, that time and a half. Constantly looking to learn as much as I can, develop new skills, and move my way up the ladder. I've worked for the company that I work for less than a year. Like I said, end of the summer will mark a year. And I've already gotten 2, one could argue 3 promotions, which have come with 3 pay raises. Well, 2 pay raises plus the annual pay raise that they give you just for working there. So 2, potentially 3 promotions, 3 pay raises. And as of yesterday, I just started training for the next position up. So I'm always looking to work more. I'm always looking for whatever's necessary to get a pay raise. I'm always looking for the next step, the next promotion. I'm always looking, I'm technically only 1 step away from to being officially on the administrative side of things, which means not only will I get a significant pay raise, but I'll also finally be able to get bonus, an annual bonus, which I was told the worst bonus my current supervisor has received was 14%. I was like, that was the worst? And he's like, yeah. And he said it with like that smirk. He was like, yeah, it's usually very, very, very good. In fact, there have been times where, on very rare circumstances, but there have been times where people, where the administrators have gotten more than 100% bonus. Imagine your annual bonus being your annual salary. If you make $60,000 a year and they're like, hey, here's your bonus of $65,000. Here you go. Today, it's yours. Good God. He said the year that happened, everybody showed up the next day with new cars. I was like, man, even if 14% was the standard, or even less than 14%, all I want is the bonus. That'd be nice. Whatever the bonus may be. It really depends on how the company did that year. But either way, that's what's gonna come with the administrative side of things, if I can get myself to that point, which is what I'm working towards right now. But the funny thing is, I haven't even been there a year. But anyway, I'm going off in the wrong direction here. Moral of the story is, I do everything in my power to make as much money as I can. I'm working as hard as I possibly can. I am always looking for a pay raise, always looking for a promotion, always looking for that Sunday pay, always looking for that next step so that I can make more money, which leads us to step 2, saving more money, because the more money you're making means the more money that you're able to save. Saving more money that way, along with other ways. I use cashback credit cards to save money on things that I need to pay for anyway. It's not just, frivolous spending. I'm saving money on, getting 5% cash back by gassing up my car, for example, or 3 to 5% back on groceries that I need to buy. You can't, if I don't gas up the car, how am I going to get to work? If I don't buy food, how am I going to eat? These are necessary expenses. So I try to maximize cash back there, aka maximize saving money there. So I save money in a couple different ways, so that step 3, more money saved means more money you can invest. And I invest in a variety of different ways, as I just explained. This year I'm maxing out my Roth IRA. I'm making daily contributions to my regular dividend growth investing portfolio. I'm reinvesting all of my dividends plus more. And I'll be opening up a 401k on top of that later this year, or toward the end of the summer. That right there is how I plan on achieving financial freedom. How long will it take me? I'm not exactly sure. I'm not there just yet. I don't exactly know when I will be there, but as I said before, I'm on my way. Little by little, inch by inch, brick by brick, step by step, I'm making my way toward financial freedom. And I personally will have a lot easier of a time getting there than a lot of other people, because a lot of other people aren't nearly as much of a minimalist as I am. I don't have crazy overhead. I don't have crazy expenses. I don't drive, a fancy brand new BMW. I drive a Ford. I'm not paying a mortgage on a 5-bedroom house. I'm renting. I don't have a family of 4 to take care of. I don't have a lot of the luxuries that a lot of other people have, which typically come with a price tag. I kind of stay away from all those things. I don't have these Netflix accounts. I don't have all these, little things like, oh, it only costs a couple bucks. Okay, yeah, multiply that by 10 because you have 10 different friggin' accounts that are all costing you money. I don't have any of those things. I spend as little as possible. I plan on keeping it that way. I have more fun going for a walk on a trail in the woods than I would by going out and spending money with a bunch of people and having really nothing to show for it. Like, oh, yeah, that was fun. Okay, yeah. I'd rather do this. This is more enjoyable to me. The fun I have, 9 times out of 10, is free. Go camping one night. Go hiking one day. This is what I like to do. And when I reach financial freedom, this is probably, for the most part, how I'm going to be spending a lot of my time. I'll be spending my time outdoors. I'm an outdoorsman. I'm an adventurer. I like being out here. I like the fresh air, the sunlight, the exercise. I enjoy this. This is what financial freedom would look like for me. So anyway, coming around full circle, that's financial freedom. Title of the video is something along the lines of what is financial freedom, or what does financial freedom mean to me? That right there, this whole video, I like to believe, probably summed up everything. Probably could have been a whole lot more structured, but I don't really like to structure my full-length videos. I kind of like to hit record and say what comes to mind. I don't do scripts. I don't read off a teleprompter. I'm a guy just walking in the woods, talking about money, talking about finance, talking about investing, talking about budgeting, talking about saving, working hard, and encouraging people to do the same. You can reach financial freedom as well. And by the way, even if you feel as though you can't reach complete and total financial freedom, you can generate passive income, or enough passive income to take care of at least some of your bills. How much is your phone bill every month? Well, what if, let's call it $50, just, solid number. Well, what if you were generating $50 a month passively? Now all of a sudden your phone bill is already covered. It's covered passively. How nice would that be? Or imagine making a couple $100 every single month. Food at the grocery store is now not free, but kind of free. It's covered, it's paid for by your own passive income. That right there is what it's all about. And that right there is the first step. Getting your smallest bill covered passively. And then once you do that, move on to the next bill. Okay, my $50 a month phone bill is covered. How can I make another $100? How can I make $150 every single month passively so that my phone bill and this other bill, car insurance maybe, or gassing up the car at the gas station, what can I do to get my phone still covered, my phone bill still covered, and all the gas that I'm putting in my car covered as well? What can I, how can I get that? How can I make that happen? That's the next step. You get to that that next step, and then you see, all right, what's next? What's after that? What is my third expense? That right there is what it's all about. Little by little, step by step, inch by inch, brick by brick, propelling yourself forward and doing what you need to do to reach financial freedom. Whether it be partial, I shouldn't call it partial financial freedom, but passive income coming in that takes care of certain bills and just makes life a whole lot easier, or complete and total financial freedom, where you can just call your boss and quit your job if you felt like it and still have enough money coming in to take care of everything you need to take care of. That's financial freedom. You don't have to quit your job, but it opens up the option to quit your job if you felt like it. Anyway, I've been talking for too long, so let me wrap up this video right here. If you guys like the video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive bonus content. Get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. T-shirts, hoodies, stickers, coffee mugs, bunch of different designs, many of which are raising funds and awareness for different charity organizations. Try out some G Fuel energy formula. $5 off your first order by clicking the link in the description. Over 50 different flavors to choose from. This one right here is peach rings. I strongly recommend it. It's definitely in my top 5 favorite flavors. And of course, last but certainly not least, make sure to go and get your up to 12 free fractional shares by downloading Webull and funding your account. The glare right here isn't really helping me out, but either way, up to 12 free fractional shares just for simply downloading the app and funding your account, even if it's as little as $1. Still works, it still counts, you still get your up to 12 free fractional shares. And every month they have 1, sometimes 2, or maybe even sometimes 3 promos that go on, where if you refer a friend or 2 or 3 friends, they'll give you even more free stocks. Usually free Apple stock, which you can hang on to, which is what I do, or you can sell it and take the cash and do whatever you want to do with it. Webull link in the description. You can also set up your Roth IRA through them. It's currently my favorite stock trading app, and it's been for a couple years now. Webull link in the description. Everything is linked in the description. Thanks everybody for watching. See you next time. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.